If someone controls your paycheck, they control your time. Today, I want to talk about how important it is to recreate and rebuild your paycheck from scratch with passive income sources if you care about being free. Hi, I'm Matt with Free at 46, just a guy from Silicon Valley who found financial freedom early and talking a little bit about my journey and some learnings I've had along the way. So one of the things that I've learned in my experience was a lot of people think about this FIRE number, and that looks different for different people depending on where you live and specifically what your work is. And I think the one big mistake I see a lot of people making is they overestimate this number. So a lot of people will get very deep in analyzing it, but a lot of people will simply look at what are my current earnings, what's my current salary, and then how do I have having to replace that? And that's really the wrong way to look at it in my opinion. So instead, what I look at is core expenses, and I also look at what were my net earnings from working. So a lot of people forget to factor in that when you are in a state of early financial freedom and you're not working for a W-2 paycheck, you're also not paying FICA. You're also not paying state taxes or federal taxes at nearly the same rate that you would be if you were working fully. So that takes a huge amount of your quote unquote paycheck out right there, just factoring in the taxes that you no longer have to pay when you're reliant on investment income. So that's the first step, in my opinion, is setting that true FIRE number that's going to allow you to maintain your actual lifestyle today and not overestimating that. Because by overestimating it, you're actually going to be spending more years working, and not a lot of people want to do that unless it's by choice. So that's the first step. The second step, I would say, is really thinking critically about how you're going to replace that paycheck. And so, this is something that can start small and build over time, but you got to start where you are. When you say, people say, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? It was yesterday. And so taking that mentality, thinking about what is your actual FIRE number? What does that look like on a monthly basis? And then how could you take small steps to replace that over time? So there are many paths to do that outside of W-2 income. Some larger, some smaller, some riskier, some less risky. I'll just throw out a couple of core ideas that I've used that work well. One is that I've been really focused on building income, passive income through dividend investing. That can take different forms. It can take traditional dividend stocks. It can take some of the higher yielder ones, the yield maxes, the round hills. I've been really happy with those. But either way, when you think about building up that paycheck replacement, that can be one core way to do it. There are, of course, others. There's real estate, there's content, there are many paths, but the key is, are you building that over time? It's not something people are going to be able to do overnight. So even celebrating small wins where, if you built up enough dividend income where you're able to cover your internet bill for the month, that's a huge win towards early freedom there. So the step there is, once you've got your true FIRE number, then thinking about how can you build up that snowball, whether it's through passive investments or more active things like real estate or content, or even adding some consulting in the mix as well to replace that paycheck. And then looking at that year over year, maybe, year one, you start replacing 10% of your paycheck. By year two, that's 20, that's 30. Those are all incremental steps to building your freedom over time. And so, with a concerted effort of, 5 to 10 years, this is something that people are able to do and make meaningful progress on. And even if it's not perfect, that 20% freedom, that gives you just one step closer to FU money as well. So even small steps can make huge results over time. So these are just a couple of my thoughts on A, the importance of determining your true FIRE number, and then B, figuring out some potential income sources to be able to replace that. Best of luck on your journey, everyone. I hope that everyone is making the progress towards your own version of financial freedom, and look forward to hearing your comments below. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.